All right, well I guess that brings it back to me. So my name is Shane. As you know, Shane Hillard, guy from Australia, the Backyard Bushman channel. No one in particular, really. And I'm going to answer my own questions. So I found out about Dave Canterbury, yours truly, as I was looking to get back to my roots, being Australian. And it's funny, having been here 10 years, it's been a real ordeal for me. And I don't want to get into the specifics of it, but suffice it to say that I've been through a lot of hard times that I haven't seen the majority of my family in those 10 years. But at any rate, it's interesting. Nothing puts your nationality in perspective like living outside your own country. And I'm not going to say that America is a bad place, but living in America and the hardships that I've dealt with here financially and immigration-wise and legalities and so on and so forth, it really made me appreciate my home. It made me regret a lot of foolish choices I've made. But you live and learn. But anyway, I sat there and I keep in touch with my friends from time to time, and I look at what's going on in Australia, and I realized something funny. I realized, much like people are saying here, the men are becoming less like men. They're becoming wuss bags, and everybody's in instant gratification and whatnot. And it kind of frustrated me because I'm not a country boy. My old man, well, he's more of a country boy than I am. I'm a bit of a city kid, really. But I remembered when I was a kid, there's bush everywhere in Australia. It might just be a patch of bush. It might be just, the outback, but there's always bush. And I remember running around when I was a kid just in a pair of shorts with my friends and building forts and, hunting snakes and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Stuff that, I didn't know at the time were real life skills. But I came to realize after an eternity of, sometimes frustrating questions from people that, just don't know. I came to realize that the international perception of Australians, for the most part, is, Steve Irwin and Crocodile Dundee and the Bush Tucker Man and things like that. And I decided personally that I want to get that back. I want to make that a part of my life, and I want to be able to stand up and represent Australia and be a strong, proud patriot. And the first thing to do in regards to that, of course, was looking at bushcraft, and that's where I came across Dave. What drew me to Dave instantly, of course, was it was kind of funny. Dave, you're a paradox, okay? I'm not much of a military-minded guy, and that's not because I'm anti-military or anything like that. I just, we won't get into that. But at any rate, I could tell instantly, Dave, that you spoke with authority, and you obviously had a militaristic background, but at the same time, there was something about your demeanor and your attitude that reached out to me and said, hey, I just to put it in words, I sat there at the gathering around the campfire, and I said to everybody, I said, and maybe it just affected me more because I haven't seen my dad since I left Australia, and I didn't leave on good terms, but there's something about you, Dave Canterbury, that is, it's very paternal. It's kind of authoritative, but it's most certainly paternal. And I think for everybody, regardless of their age, regardless of the background and how functional or dysfunctional their relationship with their dad might be, it's a familiarity. You can listen, we can watch your videos and we can listen to you, and there's this reassurance and experience there that makes you a very, very easy person to learn from. And I think that's what had me suddenly subscribed and looking at video after video after video after video. And of course after that, finding your website, finding the forum, following that for a bit. The problem with the forum, contacted Dave Wendell, became an admin, and now I help run your forum, although I can say it runs itself. And I feel really honored to be a part of anything Pathfinder, to help in any little way. What I've learned from Dave Canterbury is embrace those things that you think you might have lost. I've learned a lot of new stuff. I've learned a lot of survival skills. I've learned a lot of bushcraft, but more than anything, I can say after the gathering, the eye-opener that it was, I've learned that just one man can make a difference. Whether it's you've worked so hard and you busted so much ass that you've now got your own TV show with a guy as great as Cody Lundeen, it's your selflessness, Dave. You know, we didn't see you roll up in a fancy car or anything like that. You weren't flaunting your celebrity status or anything. You were just another guy. You know, and I think it's great that you have that platform to launch the Pathfinder Youth Program in the Pathfinder School, because I think it's really going to be beneficial to get that done. But the message that you have in your teachings and your approach to the school and the Pathfinder Youth is that, you know, we really need to think about this before we think of ourselves. You know, of course, like many people have said, you know, improvise, adapt, and overcome, and all these wonderful things. And I've got to say, I think Ken Seal said it best. That applies to all aspects of your life, and I couldn't agree more. There's so much more than I could hope to explain without just chewing up too much time on this film here. But I've learned, you know, I've learned to have hope and to appreciate life again, and more than just you, Dave. Being at the gathering, I've learned that not everybody out there is an asshole. That there are good people out there, and I've learned to have some faith in society again, which is something I haven't had in a while, I can say. What being a Pathfinder means to me. You know, I got the tat while I was there, and you know, when I got the tat, I thought, this is great. You know, I'm here, I'm getting involved. I gotta knock out my certification, because I've been, you know, doing it here and there, but I've had so many, the back problem, the computer problem, whatever else, no excuses, but you know, I've been kind of dawdling along with it, but I thought, you know, this is the motivation I need. I'm learning so much stuff. I've met so many great people. This is something I want to be a part of. These are awesome people, you know, and it's I finally feel like I belong. And I sat there and I got the tat, and tattoo guy saw my other tattoo and noticed what it was. We had a great conversation. It was a really great experience. And I sat there and I thought, you know, if Dave Canterbury ever becomes a sellout, well, I'm kind of screwed. And I didn't think for a second it was going to happen, you know. And I've got the second generation tattoo, only because that's when I came on the scene, you know, a year and a half ago, 2 years, whatever it is. I wasn't around for the original one. I felt that was the appropriate one to get, but it's being a Pathfinder to me. It was the day after the tattoo, the auctions happened, and I was witness to that wonderful thing, you know, with people in there, the generosity and the sense of community. It means a lot of things, but I think the strongest thing I got out of the entire trip is in the 10 years I've been missing from home, I have honestly never felt more at home than I had with the people at the gathering. And it was a really enriching experience. And so Dave, you and everybody else, all the Pathfinders, have reached out and touched me in a way that has me pretty damn excited about being part of something really big. You know, and of course, I do want to say thank you. You know, I can try to put it in words, Dave. You know, and I'm sure, you know, I'll have much more to thank you for in the future, but let's put it this way, you know, I wanted to say thanks, and the only way I knew how was to make these series of videos and get that across. And I think it's pretty evident. I couldn't get everybody, of course. There's a lot of people there, a lot of people who are busy, but when I say thank you, Dave, I don't just mean it from me, I mean it from the entire community. Dave, everybody, you know, in the community, thank each and every one of you, and yeah, I wouldn't have missed it for the world. So, it's been Shane, guys. You take it easy. Bye. You'll come a waltzing, Matilda.